In continuing from my last episode on the scam of Facebook and their advertising policy, I left off asking the question, why would Facebook ban your ads account for policy violations and then not tell you what those policy violations were? If policy violations are a problem, why would they not want people to know specifically what they're doing wrong? I have a theory, and it's just a theory, or more technically a hypothesis as to why they, as a matter of policy, have a great deal of secrecy surrounding exactly why they refuse to tell advertisers exactly what they expect from them. Well, first, Facebook has a political bias, and although Mark Zuckerberg likes to make the world think his behemoth social network is an open platform for all, it isn't, and he will do everything he can to preserve the socialist bias he has over his empire. Because I think there's even something bigger on the horizon, and I'll explore more of that later in a separate video. And secondly, Facebook has to make an enormous amount of money with regards to their ads platform from people who have no idea what they're doing. That's a big secret. Almost every Facebook advertiser has lost a tremendous amount of money trying to figure out how to advertise effectively, and Facebook knows this. And because it makes them so much money, they exploit it. Facebook advertising, it's not easy, it's hard, unless you have a mentor that can look over your shoulder every step of the way. Until you get used to it, there's a steep learning curve with Facebook ads on everything from how their ads manager works, to how to target your ads, to how much money to spend, to how long to run your ads, and much, much more. I probably spent $3,000 to $4,000 before I was able to get anything reasonably profitable going. It then took a little while to earn those losses back, and then I started seeing some consistent profit. There were still several dud campaigns along the way, even when I knew what I was doing. I think what Facebook then expects is for advertisers to start spending more money, and even though I did and brought my highest spend up to a maximum of about $300 a day and maybe spent $9,000 or $10,000 in a month, there are people who spend way more than that, up to 6 figures a month. Beyond Facebook's incredible political bias, they eventually expect you to spend a lot of money advertising, and when you don't, you become a burden to them, as the amount of time and money it takes to keep watch on your account isn't worth it to them. They would either like to have you lose a lot of money to try to figure out how to advertise on Facebook, or they would like you to spend a ton of money on profitable ads for you. But they don't really want people in the middle who are lurkers and only spend, let's say, $100 to $300 a month, give or take. That may be too much maintenance for them, and once they earn a decent amount of money from a low spend account, you are no longer that profitable for them, and they'd rather just get rid of you, especially if you happen to be on the conservative side of the political spectrum. So they just find an excuse to ban you, and then they throw some BS policy violation at you. And they don't tell you why, because then they couldn't run their little charade. Facebook doesn't want people to really know their specific advertising policies, because then they couldn't just decide to get rid of your ad account simply because they don't like what you're doing. Again, this is just a hypothesis, and there could be many variables here, but I can bet it looks something just like this. So that, of course, brings up the question, can we trust Facebook? And we'll explore that next time, so stay tuned for the next episode.